Hello everyone, it's indeed inspiring to see you back again, and we are here in this Business Analyst Series. We are going to help you with step-by-step journey to learn and develop your skills as a business analyst. Here, you will learn a lot about how to interact with client, how to capture the user stories, how to document them and produce BRDs and SRS, how you can do the data modeling part, UML modeling, software methodologies, agile, scrum and DevOps, so many and so much things to learn. So I insist you to go through this particular series and get an advantage on business analyst.
So BRD typically follows a standardized template to ensure consistency and clarity in conveying the business requirements. And the first thing we have is introduction. The purpose of introduction is that whatever project we are doing, we need to introduce it. Purpose, scope, and background we have to write. So I'll give a very high level brief. Let me open a notepad also. Yeah, so here we have the notepad. Yes. So now the introduction part we will start with. Okay. So let's say we have to create a portal, and this portal is a CRM, that is customer relationship management software. Okay, so this is customer relationship management software. So we are starting with the introduction part. The first thing is purpose. So briefly state the purpose of the document and the project it pertains to. So the purpose is that I'll just write at high level pointers, because when we are discussing with the client, so at that particular time, we may not get time to write in detail. So need to create a DATABAS database of CUST customers, assist the telecallers and business development executives to get the past communication easily or via single interface, maintain and manage the communication for future reference and quality check. Okay, then next thing would be handling, reporting and handling the issues, tickets raised by the customer. So this is what we need to do. Okay, this is what we need to do. Okay, this is the purpose. Okay, now scope and background. Define the boundaries of the project, what it aims to achieve. So again, it is a time consuming task, like it is not something like immediately, but still I'll try to put some pointers over here. Okay, now scope. Scope basically covers what would be covered and what won't be covered. Okay, so both the things needs to be written. So what would be covered? So I need to look up on these and need to elaborate them over here. Okay, so probably I can have, let's say there should be users and there should be admin user. There should be in this particular portal customer user. There could be BDE user and some telecallers. They just make some outbound calls. Okay, so these are the level of users. Then I will discuss about modules. So I'll have to make a list of modules, so that will consume some time. Okay, so different modules would be there and so on. Like, so we are not going to write that. Okay, so different modules would be there. What won't be covered? Okay, so here we can basically write if something is being discussed, and that is not coming in the scope. So we can enter over here that yes, it is limited to this much, and we are not going beyond this. Okay, so what won't be covered, we can write over here. Then next point here is background. So relevant information and context. So background can be written in a paragraph kind of thing, or maybe pointers. And it is not compulsory that always you need to write the background. Okay, if you have purpose and scope, that is also quite good enough. So, for example, the background is CURRENT, current. Current state is data is COLEC, collected and maintained in spread sheets and Excel. No CENTRALIZED centralized AAPPROSCH approach. There is no centralized approach. Scattered documentation. Then more detailed and discussions needed to be in sync. Okay, so these are the challenges. Therefore, we want a system, a solution where we can have it this way. Okay, where we can have. Okay, so this is the introduction part. Now, second is business objectives. We need to have list of business objectives. Okay, so this is again high level objectives, what actually we want to achieve. So from the purpose itself, we will get that what sort of business objectives do we have? Business OBJEC objectives. Now, in this particular case, the business objective is that increase the lead conversion. Okay, that is the business objective. We want to increase the lead conversion. Then again, increase the customer retention, and one more thing would be there. Because of this, we want to achieve automation and reducing human efforts in operational activities. So if you see that all of these three things are eventually helping us in the business: increasing the lead conversion, increase the number of customer retention, and automation, because this application, this product is going to automate. So automation and reducing the human efforts in operational activities. Okay, this is what it is going to do. So this is business objectives. Now let us move ahead. Now current business process. Okay, the existing one, because once you know the existing one, then you will get an understanding that what is the challenge, what is the problem, and why there is a need to improve or replace this particular existing system. So I have a bit described in the background. Okay, so similar things would come. Okay, similar things would come over here in the current state. Okay. So in current status, again, manual management of data, current tools, Excel, spreadsheets, and other doc formats. Okay. Then communication. So quick communication happens through WhatsApp and some maybe internal portal, email. Okay. So this is the current status. Now, next thing is business requirements. So list and describe the specific business requirements in detail. So here we have done the same thing in, if you see at high level, we have written the business objectives. Okay. But now each requirement should be numbered and include a unique identifier for reference. Clearly state the functional and non-functional requirement. Okay. So here basically we need to write all the requirements in detail. Okay. This is the next step. So yes, so that is again going to consume time. So what we will do, we'll have a walkthrough, and then like this sample I'll create. So business requirements. Okay. So business requirements, I'll give only one example. So here, I'll give it number as, let's say, BR001. Now, why I'm giving it a number, requirement we'll have to write, but I'm giving it a number. Why? Because later on, this number needs to be referred in order to measure whether this requirement has been fulfilled or not. If I write in generic manner, then basically I will not be able to measure it later on. I'll not be able to refer it in a clear terms. Now I can just refer it. Okay, BR001 is one business requirement, and we are able to at the end find it out whether that requirement has been fulfilled or not fulfilled. Okay, and here we will write the requirement. So let's say I'll just take this. I'm not writing in detail now. So I put this. So just one requirement as an example I have written. Now let us move ahead. Now, functional requirements. So detailed description of functional capabilities of the system that should be processed. So that is a part of business requirement only, functional requirements, and then comes the non-functional requirements that again are compulsory in case of creating an application. For example, we created one application, a portal where multiple users can log in, and they can get the access of upcoming events and whatever new thing is being launched by that particular company organization. So in this particular case, when the number of users were increasing, so at that particular point of time, the application was not handling it in a proper manner. And what was the reason? The reason was the non-functional requirement of handling the load and performance and scaling up the application. So it is not the functional requirement, but still it is a requirement of the system in order to support all the functional requirements to give a smooth experience to the user. So we need to list non-functional requirements also. Then every system has got some assumptions and some constraints or limitations or boundaries. So we need to list all the assumptions. So for example, here, assumptions, and I'll name it as A001, assumption 1. And the assumption is that customer age is, okay, age is above 18 years. So this is one assumption we have basically created. So assumptions and constraints. Let's say this is assumption and we have a constraint. Constraint is the system would be under maintenance each Friday evening. So again, constraint, this is a limitation that at that particular time, if you see like banks, maybe ICICI Bank or SBI Bank, so in a week's time or every day also during 11 to 11:30, okay, they don't operate. Okay, they operate with very minimum functionality because that is a maintenance time. So assumptions and constraints we have to list. Dependencies. Our project requires anything from outside external support external factors or dependencies are there? So yes, in our case, let's say I'm taking so I'll write it here. We will depend on a vendor, let's say GoDaddy, for hosting. So this is a dependency because we can't do this. We need to take third-party service. So dependencies we'll have to write. I'm just writing one to make you understand. Now data requirements. So whatever kind of data design is another important part. I'll talk about it in upcoming sessions. Okay. So list the specific data elements needed by the system and any data related rules or constraints. For example, if we are collecting some phone numbers. Okay. So there has to be basically an instruction that the country code followed by the number. Okay, something, whatever. Yeah, so some number should be there. Okay. So then afterwards, we should write that, yes, country code should be there and we should validate. Then phone number should be there. We should have 10 digits. So those rules we'll have to write. Again, one example. Then next is acceptance criteria. So acceptance criteria is basically if the software is developed. Now, whether the customer, the user is going to accept it or not, this is acceptance. So again, the document should have a checklist that, okay, this is done, this is done, this is done, quality check, okay. Then accept it. Otherwise, not accepted. So acceptance criteria. Okay. Next one we have is risk. Again, very important part, risk mitigation and strategies. Many in case of a small project, this is skipped. Now for example, there's so many phishing attacks, cyber security. So in that area, a lot of phishing attacks are there. What happened, a hacker was able to hack and get into your server and deleted all the important files from the website. What will happen? So now we realize, okay, risk management, risk mitigation is important. Okay, so we will have a regular backup, or if it is very critical, we will have a backup at every minute or every half an hour, if it is very critical. So that is risks and mitigating the risk. Okay, so yes, I'll just write here risk mitigation. Okay, then moving ahead, glossary, which is basically a kind of inverted index. Appendices, where we will have all the supporting documents which we referred and we have cited them in the initial stages. So this is what basically, yeah, let me just complete risk mitigation, and we have glossary and appendices. Okay, this much. So this is high level idea that how a BRD would get created. It is mostly in terms of, in very layman's English language, which client can understand. It is in that, okay, manner.
If you like this video, please do share it with your friends and those who need it. And don't forget to press the bell icon and also subscribe to our channel so that you can get all the videos notifications readily in your account.